Hi, this is Alexcursus, a show where I pick up some gunpla or figurine and see how authentic they are. This time we are looking at the HG, which from Mercury 1 to 144 CCP-068 Heingra. Heingra is the first of the Hein series that Glassly Defense System mass produced. As mobile suits start to replace traditional military hardware in Estella, Glassly anticipated formations fully made up of mobile suits. By designing Heingra as a team instead of individual mobile suits, Glassly managed to make Heingra cheaper to produce and easier to pilot. And Heingra is proven to be effective as a team of their own or with other mobile suits. Dominicus deployed Heingra in support of Bill during the Vendors incident. I'll be rating the Heingra with saga, style, action, gimmick, and absence. Style is how closely does the gunpla or figurine resemble its anime, manga, games, or other media's counterparts. And being a very new series, Heingra is pretty much jumping right out of the anime. To be more accurate, right out of the Witch from Mercury prologue. It is still slightly elongated because of the joints compared to the line arts, but otherwise everything is here and a lot of the details in the line arts can be seen on this kit. I use these stickers for the visor because it looks good, and in conjunction with the clear panel it is very reflective. The camera on top is a clear piece, the same piece with the visor, but the purple doesn't really light pipe very well. Sticker for the optic on the gun, and then sticker for the optic at the back of the head. Sticker sheet is pretty minimal. Number 3 is the darker area of the top camera, but the stickers would cover the details up there, so I decided against it, and it looks pretty good. Part separation, pretty much the same as the Bigure Pente. The inner frame, the purple part, is basically the same. Let me see where are the some of the less pretty gaps. No, the torso clamshell gap is being covered or embossed by the separation line, so that's fine over there. The shoulder parts, plenty of armor to enclose it, so you don't really see anything. The bicep is a very subtle separation. You barely see it here in the white. Forearm again embossed by the separation line, and then the brazier covered the end of the arm. Yeah, same for the leg. You can see the gap here, but again embossed. Armor separation front and back, very natural. The lower leg is a bit more apparent, but not jumping out. So yeah, basically all the parting you see in the Heingra is part separation. Backpack, just a sea of gray, but that is fine. The main thrusters, they got very well scopes that, you just sort of leave them. It is the pylon, the auxiliary pylon at the back of the waist. It is a bit unclear how these apogee motors or counter thrusters functions, so not sure how they should be colored, but they are sculpted, so that's pretty good. And the only place that really needs some color correction is the shield, especially the beam autocannons, these 4 holes. They are larger caliber beam falcons that's supposed to be omnidirectional, either with the focusing beam field alternating or them physically moving. Not really clear in the anime or in the mechanics books actually, but yeah, other than color correction needed and no stickers for them, I just painted them in black. Completely forgot to mention when I look at the head, yeah, the whole helmet is one piece, and then the antenna on top of the visor and face. So, and oh, and the glassly cockpit. So style-wise, part separation is great. Color allocation is great. Sure, you can see the gap here on the auxiliary or maneuver thrusters, but it is at the back and depends how you like these things. I think they are nice to be included. I don't see any reasons to give Heingra anything less than an S. I mean, sure, the gun sight can be a separate part, but stickers work just fine. Oh yeah, should save this for Gimmick, but the barrel or the muzzle of the beam rifle is a separate piece, so you don't see a gap in front, and the clamshell of the beam rifle is hidden by the natural separation of the rifle itself. So, well, except not quite in front here, but it's mostly fairly well hidden. So yeah, I don't think Heingra should get anything less than an S for style. So this is quick. Action. Action isn't just about articulation. Action is how useful are those articulations. For example, Heingra's head can look up, and let's see, with the combination of the neck, nope. That's as far as it can look up. Still pretty high compared to other older models that we reviewed, or even some newer ones like the Best Collect Gundam. And then downwards, not so much. The face and basically the face mask prevent it from going down further. So unlike Kill where you can really crank down the head, Heingra, not so much. And then what I always forgot, ab crunch. There's lots of ab crunch. Not so much to the back, but quite a bit for forward. It is a pivot with a ball joint, so you can also turn. At the moment is basically the weapon stopping it from turning, but yeah, you can spin it around if you really want to. The arm, shoulder, separate shoulder armor, separate pivot, and then bicep pivot, and then the arm. Oh, the rifle sort of blocked it. We are just going to show how far up we can go, and then forward. Let's show the what is this, 90, 120, 130 degrees. Yeah, the shield is really massive, so it blocked quite a bit, so it really limits Heingra's movement, but thankfully the shoulder armor can really get out of the way. The leg can go really high if we want to push it. And very far forward if we want to. And then the knee can bend almost all the way. The foot is on a ball joint. While Heingra does not have the claw like Bukio Pente or Bukio Bio, it does have a second joint for the foot. Oh yeah, and scope on the foot, sort of landing cross and then a thruster. I don't think we need to do a single stance or other funky test with Heingra. It is very, very flexible and maneuverable or athletic. Last and kind of the least are these auxiliary thrusters, apogee motor pods, thruster pods. They are on a ball joint, and you can sort of push them in if you don't want them flopping about. So that's cool. Backpack, just one solid block, no moving thruster. This block can turn a bit because it is on a single peg. So yeah, articulation wise, once again, Heingra ace it. The shield, being this massive, does inhibit it from doing some of the poses. But I mean, if you really want to, you can either not holding it with the handle as the second point of contact, or rather not having the brace contact. Actually, let's try that. So without the brace, you got lots more freedom as to how you hold the shield with Heingra. Obviously, it's a lot less stable this way, but yeah, that's something you can do if you really want some pose that can be done with this very solid connection here. I maintain this connection is a positive. Yeah, it keeps it very solid on the Heingra. A bit difficult to maneuver about, but better protection. So yeah, action wise, I think Heingra deserve an S, just like style. Probably too early, as we haven't been looking at too much Witch from Mercury kits, but at least for the Glassly lineups, their action is impeccable. And the third category is Gimmick. Gimmick is usually the optional weapons, on-board weapons, and other mechanics of the mobile suit. In case of Heingra, it is the beam rifle, the shield, the beam sabers, the auxiliary, thruster ports, and then some other stuff that we'll talk about after we look at the cores. The beam rifle, like we have talked about in style, 3 pieces, clamshell and a barrel. Nothing fancy, no removable magazines. Very serviceable, not particularly good, but serviceable on the better side, on the better of the serviceable side. Let's put it that way. I do like how massive it looks. The shield does have sculptures on the backside. And as we have mentioned, color separate, no color correction or no part separation for the beam autocannons, but their presence is enough. And yeah, like I said in the action, the connector, the bracer connector, keep the shield really stable. I really like that. So these two are great. And the beam sabers, they are removable, and they do have ports for you to put on beam saber effects. Yeah, just going to show how good the holster is. And beam saber blade on the beam saber heel. Hands are full at the moment. And just like the Q-Bill, very good tension on the hand for the beam saber. And well, the whole runner is 2 blades, but 2 blades for 2 beam saber, that is good gimmick. I keep this beam saber here because the kit does come with a Heindree Sturm beam cannon backpack. As you can see, it's basically the same backpack, but Heindree got a beam cannon instead of a second beam saber holster. And so you can put this beam saber into the Heindree Sturm backpack, and you can give the Heindree Sturm backpack to Heingra. We haven't seen that variation of Heingra yet, but if you want to do it, you can absolutely do it. It's the same 2 ports. Also, sculptures on the inside of the backpack. A bit of hollow, but you don't really see them, so just great that they have sculpt on the side here. And then you also get a Heindree Sturm rifle. You can see the resemblance. They only give you 1 sticker, so you have to put it on either beam rifle. I painted this one. It looks way better on camera than it does to naked eye. But yeah, you can see the resemblance. I will talk about that when we talk about the Glassly defense system mobile suits. But yeah, some extras. Some extra that you don't really get to use. This is a Heindree Sturm helmet. The lens design is a bit different. The top camera design is a bit different, but you can still fit it on if you want to. And then you still got balls of the Heindree Sturm's shield. This is the connector to the brace, just lack of the front end of the shield. So it is time for us to go into absence. Being only appeared in the Witch from Mercury prologue, Heindree did have quite a bit of action in that prologue. It is a extended episode, but not at all 2 episodes long. And we get to see the beam autocannon on the shield working, the beam rifle working, the beam sabers, and how well it maneuvers and fights as a team. So the HG Heingra really delivers on these aspects of the Heingra. It uses some, well, because it shares a lot of parts with the Heindree Sturm, so Bandai just throw in the whole Heindree Sturm sprue in for you. You would think there would be an S for absence then. Not really. This is the point where I have to throw in a hidden card against the Heingra, which is that it is a p-bandai exclusive, meaning you can only get them from p-bandai or other exclusive sites like Bluefins for them, or on other sites it will be technically secondhand. So availability is not great, especially p-bandai these days. I don't think Bandai's capacity is lowered, but it definitely failed to catch up to the demand. So being a p-bandai exclusive, that means a absence in availability, and it does cost more than the Heindree Sturm for the Heingra parts, namely the helmet with the antenna. Interestingly enough, Heingra is a battlefield mobile suit, but it have antenna. The shield and the new beam rifle and the new backpack or old backpack with the separate beam saber. And yeah, Bandai just does not give you the second shield face for this kit. So I have to mark it down for that. If Bandai didn't ship out on the shield face for the Heindree Sturm shield, I think I would give Heingra a S- for absence. I mean, it is still a p-bandai. You can't really get it everywhere, supposedly. So, yeah, that's an absence in availability. To recap, Heingra being in the Witch from Mercury line with, modern technologies, it is a very faithful outlook in style to its anime counterpart. So it gets an S. Action, like many Glassly mobile suits, excellent fight movement due to the lack of, well, they do have skirt armor, but they don't restrict anything. Let's turn the rifle a bit. Yeah. The elbow have a lot of room to move despite being only single jointed, and then pretty much standard, or rather just excellent modern articulations overall, and then a very aggressive foot articulation pivot as well. So as for action as well, Gimmick, can't really complain when it have everything Heingra has in the show, plus the Heindree Sturm weapons. Not the shield though, just weapons. Still, plenty good enough. Both beam saber blade for both beam sabers. And absence. Everything is present for the Heingra, just the availability is not present for us. So the verdict for the HG, which from Mercury 1 to 144 Heingra is S for style, S for action, S for gimmick, and A for absence. So far, at least with what we have looked at, which from Mercury have just been great in terms of style and action. Gimmick, at least for the Glassly mobile suits, we have been treated well. We got what's in the anime, and we got a bit more from time to time. Now, out of the 4 mobile suits in the Witch from Mercury prologue, 2 of them is available on general release and 2 of them is available to p-bandai, and Heingra being the later group. As a mass-produced mobile suit, I guess Heingra wasn't really used in the proper Witch from Mercury series. That's why it is not being released as a general release. But as we are getting more, well, we have been getting one. We got one Witch from Mercury side story manga at the moment. I would like to see more Estella side stories. Hopefully then we can get more Heingra as general release. Maybe in different color scheme, maybe different backpack loadout, maybe even different weapon loadout. Just for variety and availability for the fans. Thanks for watching. See you next time.